so to find one was so incredibly exciting, and it's very tactile. There are lots of different textures and therefore lots of different sounds that can be made with this product, or this set I should say. So first of all, what I'm going to do is film just me showing you this with just my hands, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to pick up each item individually and show you one by one and tap on each item one by one. So here is the box as a whole. I'm having to actually hold a sheet up right now so the mirror is not reflecting my room because it's a little messy. But we're going to have a closer look in a minute. I just wanted to show you the box as a whole because it's so incredibly beautiful. I will shut the box and let you have a look at what it looks like on the outside as well, because it's such a beautiful design. This is the inside of the box. And it's just so stunning. We've got this pink silk, which you can see in a lot of places is torn and actually quite discoloured now. I think that's why I got this box for such a reasonable price, is because it's not in pristine condition. But that doesn't bother me. And I will angle it up a little so you can see the top. Obviously, we've got these beautiful blue silk pleats under here. And then you have the heart-shaped mirror that's held on with this blue and baby pink sort of cord. And then you've got again this beautiful ruched silk, or probably satin, a fabric back here. And it says A. Chesler Creation. It's just such a stunning piece. And this would have been a travel set that the people would have taken with them on a train, or I suppose on a plane if they were going somewhere out of town, so that they had everything beauty-wise they needed, all in one place. So first up, we are going to be tapping on this perfume atomizer bottle, or this perfume spray bottle. Obviously the point of this would have been to put your own scent in it to travel with. And it's got the obviously there's no liquid in it though. in doesn't necessarily get you the results of these sets. I think only a couple of them are actually considered under that brand. Obviously that, when I showed you, said it was just a company product. Searching under that doesn't yield any results for me either, so I really can't find a great deal about this brand that used to make these and the picture frames and all of that. But obviously here is Clark Gable, and there's Clark Gable there. Judging by his appearance and the way the photo is sort of black and white but been colorized afterwards, I assume this is a sort of 30s, maybe sort of early 40s portrait of Clark Gable. And then obviously you can stand it up if you so wish. I'm not really too certain why the one that I have has two of Clark Gable. Usually either only one picture is included, or if they're two pictures, they're two pictures of two different stars. So I'm uncertain why Clark Gable, the same picture of him, features twice in this one. This one's set in Metro Goldwyn Mayer Pictures, printed in USA. I don't know if I mentioned this set I did purchase and have shipped to me all the way from America. That's because, and it's to my knowledge, that sets like this weren't really made in the UK. I've realised through time the reason that often I struggle to find compacts and certain beauty sets and certain clothes from the 40s, which is probably one of my favourite decades to collect from. 40s, 30s, that kind of thing. Is actually because of England's involvement in World War II. You've got to think that the clothes that were already in existence in the 30s, women's clothes, were often, it was made to men, they were often repurposed for other things, or, they were then considered hand-me-downs, so they perhaps got, worn and worn and worn again and again, because whatever clothing you had, you weren't going out every week and buying a new dress by the time the war came around, so the dresses that perhaps you had new in the 30s were the dresses that saw you for as long as you possibly could. And then obviously in the 40s there was the war, and production slowed or stopped in a lot of areas of things that weren't a necessity. So I own a CC41 dress, and if you see that label, it basically means that it's a British manufactured item of clothing from the 40s, and it was manufactured as part of the war effort for more clothes to be made, because obviously clothes were needed and were not being produced as much because of the war. So if you see that label on any of your clothing, that's what it means, produced for the war effort. So that is why. And I imagine it's pretty much the same for the whole of Europe. That's why it's rarer, and it's harder to find items from the 30s and the 40s, and even obviously the 50s, we were still recovering from the war. Whereas it wasn't quite the same in America, They got involved in the war much later, and it wasn't to the same degree that Europe was involved, so production of those things wasn't an issue and was still happening. So if you're a vintage collector in America, think yourself very lucky. But yeah, if anybody has any points more about that sort of thing, or let me know in the comments, because I find it really, really fascinating. So next up, it's actually coming away here, so you can see the foil underneath. I need to glue it down, but I'm not really sure what glue to use yet, so I'll have to figure that out. But here is the handheld mirror. And actually, it's one of the best mirrors I've ever seen. It's in amazing quality. The image that you get is one of the sharpest I've ever seen in a mirror, to be honest. sort of age spotting or anything. It's a really good mirror. Again, there's the same print that was on the other jars. I just adore this. I think it's so beautiful. When and as soon as I can, and as soon as I can figure out how, my next step for the channel is definitely to be getting a binaural microphone. I used to pronounce that word wrong for years, biannual. I used to say it's binaural, right? That's definitely what I want to do next, because that's my favourite ASMR, is ear to ear. So yeah, that's next in my plan. So last up is this item. When this was listed on eBay, it said it was a very large nail file, which it's got the right grooving on it to be a nail file. But when I showed it and said that's what it was, lots of people were saying it's a letter opener, which also makes sense. I'm wondering if maybe it's got a dual purpose. I do think it's really adorable that in a sort of beauty travel set you'd have a letter opener. I do think it's sad that the art of letter writing is no more, but I have to say I do have really dreadful handwriting, so it's probably for the best. For me, anyway. I believe that there is a brush missing from this set. I can't see that a brush wouldn't have been included in a set like this, so I'm a little sad the brush isn't there. But it's okay. It's okay. And last up, here is the heart mirror that I'm not going to project directly out, because my room is a little bit messy from trying to get ready to film. But you would have seen it obviously when I showed it up there. But I thought I'd get it down because of course it is detachable. The mirror was one of the main things that drew me to this set. I mean, come on. It's just absolutely stunning. So I hope you enjoyed this video and seeing my new purchase. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos, you know, where I go more in depth into a certain sort of vintage set or item. I thought this one would just be so great because there's so many different elements to it.